Okay, guys, so we're just going to preview now the Hobart meeting on Sunday, 2nd of July. 9 races. There looked to be pretty much a standout in probably 6 of the races, but in all honesty, it's probably one of those meetings I absolutely hate because a lot of them are drawn awkwardly, and you're loath to take the price from the barrier, but you also don't want to bet against them because they do look like winning. So yeah, it's just been a tricky weekend. So, but anyway, we'll run through them. The first, obviously, look two clear standouts here in the Colt Pessimistic and the filly Inwill. The over the mile, the early speed burn is going to be vitally important here. Pessimistic hasn't actually been asked to leave the gate in its career, so it's a little bit difficult to assess exactly how much gate speed it does have. Inwill certainly does have gate speed, and for that reason I've actually priced her marginally on top. I've got no confidence in the race at all, but you can't price them equal favourites and sit on the fence and get splinters. So actually I was just looking at the replay here. Pessimistic drew 1 in, like, he wasn't asked to leave the gate. He was obviously intended to be driven with cover this day. He's drawn the pole. You see, you get an idea, like he's coming out okay. If he was asked, he may have been able to keep his legs through there. And we'll just have a look at Inwill. She drew 2 here.
Well, the horse is striding.
You see she's got good acceleration. So based on that, you'd say that it's definitely got some hope of getting over. Actually, I'll just go back to that replay, sorry. The other horse I was just going to mention also in the race.
Striding, the mobile rolling.
Is Beatrix Lynn.
The starter releases the
it's
field
in the
and
green
they stepped
colours
away
here.
Nicely. And from gate number 2, it's Inwill rolling to the
So
early lead. Inwill is
it's
going to go
also,
to the
so you can
front.
see it coming
Moving up
across
into
with
second
Inwill.
spot is Beatrix Lynn now to face the breeze
So,
and deeper on the track.
As I said, so no real confidence in the race, but you have to pick one, so I'll go with Inwill in race 1. Race 2, difficult to go past Crown of Stardust. She's super honest, but it's what I alluded to at the start. She's one of those horses that you get second row, you're going to probably be taking about $1.90-ish. And she's also a bit of a heart attack horse in that when she does hit the front, she doesn't usually put them away. She tends to wait around for them. Like Black Ops certainly had his chance at Devonport, but doesn't look to be much mid-race pressure here at all. Sparkling enjoys to get the type of run she loves. Ryder Coyote is obviously the interesting one. On his best form, he'd be in this up to his ears, but his past couple been below par. Not sure if they go forward or back on him this week, but be interesting. Flash Anatomy maps to get a great run leaders back, but got a similar run at Devonport and only battle, but still in the place mix. And Bliss Star might even go 3 pegs, and if it did, it keeps coming at the 1 speed. So there's one here at huge odds, Lockaway Casey. It actually ran second last time, but the run wasn't as bad as you imagine. I think it was in Hobart this day. It's just the Tas Racing sectionals. It was just a ridiculously run mile race. Yeah, here it is here. You see Lockaway Casey's at 4 and 5 wide, and home 28.8. You might get sort of $67, might be worth a couple of bucks a place on it, just in case it gets some luck. So, but difficult to go past Crown of Stardust, but backing is another matter. The third, Ebony All Stars. We black booked her last weekend. She probably looked unlucky not to win a Devonport on Friday. Gets into the mile trip, which she loves. Looks a certain leader. Definitely going to get a chance. Probably looked to be 4 major winning hopes in her. One More Laugh, he's just flying, but just can't draw a barrier. I'm not quite sure. Actually, this is a very tricky draw. It's one of those horses that if he gets used early, doesn't tend to finish off, but I reckon they might just go forward this week and forward with cover type of thing. Christian Jazz beat Ebony All Stars on its merits last time and draws to trail it through, so should settle handy, so obviously right in the mix. And Parmisano, like he's 12 months ago was competing against some of the best horses in the state, and he was competitive against them. He hasn't won for a long time and gets back into a C2 to 3 grade. Miles never been his go, but you can see him sort of being put into the race, and he's definitely going to be ultra competitive back at this level. But I just think Ebony All Star, certain leader, she's going to get a chance, so she's the one that will be getting some of mine. The fourth, God's Sake's another one of these horses that I was alluding to at the beginning. Terrible draw, but he's just looks better than them. I think it was actually in the same race here. Yeah, it ran 8th, so home in 28.42. Just had slow ones pull out in front of it all the way. So, I think everybody saw One More Laughs run that day and thought, gee, look the way he hit the line. It ran home 28.37. God's Sake ran out the back home in 28.42. So, very difficult to bet against him, but also very difficult to jump in at the price from the draw. Put him back, just never ever runs badly. Pablo Santana was actually very good at Devonport. And Union Force, he's just super honest in this type of race. Probably likes to turn a foot to win it, but it's impossible to see him probably not running top 4. So, God's Sake should win with even luck, but do you want to take even money, wondering if it's going to get that type of luck? So, the fifth, Teresi, is probably the one of the favourites who draws to make its own luck, but you're probably going to be copying $1.75, $1.80 for the pleasure. Bit of gate speed inside, the inside 3 horses. Nearly all of them have been driven with cover at some stage though, so if Todd really put the hammer down, he might even find the front, but even just sitting in the death control in the race isn't the end of the world anyway. Cooler Julie, like a stablemate before One More Laugh, she's going extremely well, but it's just impossible to see her beating Teresi from this draw. Watch his chance. Likewise, it's a terrible draw for him. You'd imagine Chronic Jamie gets crossed. That means that what's his chance? Either going to be like 3 or 4 back the fence, or he has to come off and circle the field. And if Teresi in the field, you're going to be running home 58 minimum. So, just very difficult to see Teresi being beaten. The sixth, C6 to 10. Roger Ramjet just looks too fast for them. Actually, I think his last run was in Launceston. And his sectionals were right up there with some of the best horses in the state. It was the better Mac, so here's Roger Ramjet here. So, what's that, 27.6 and 28.4, that's aiming 56 dead. And he maps to sort of sit in a striking position. Speed map's a little bit tricky here. You got Major Callum, Blackjack Hanover, another swinger showed good speed last time, never sighted. I'm not sure that she goes back or forward. You would think Major Callum holds up, and he's super tough, but he probably can only run home in 29, while Roger can run home in the 27. So you think he's going to be close enough to win, but once again, sound like a broken record. You're taking short odds a sit sprint horse, and if something pulls out in front of him and goes backwards, he might be in a little bit of trouble, but it's a pretty even field outside of him. Like Mellow Lynn, if you look at his figure form, it's terrible, but he's galloped out in a couple of stand starts, and he was forced to chase in that 154 a mile in Launceston as well. So, and probably draws to follow up Major Callum, so you can see him running a much improved race. But do think Roger Ramjet will be winning, but similar to a couple previous. The 7th, my old mate, in inverted commas, William Tell. He's joined inside the second row. Like his stablemate Lenny Mack beat virtually an identical field last time, and really put them to the sword. And I'd imagine, Paul Ashwood would say there's not too much between William Tell and Lenny Mack on ability, so you get a pretty good gauge there that he should be ultra competitive. But once again, you're inside the second row, going to be taking about even money. Carlos Heaven didn't do a lot on Tasmanian debut, but it wasn't run to suit, so it could be a dramatic improver. Sergeant Black's probably one. He might just find the early lead. If you got away with it cheap early, you can see him running a very cheeky race. Shady Lou had its chance against Lenny Mack last time and now draws 7, so it's impossible to see it turning the tables, but having a look at its figure form, never runs badly. And even You Can't Beat a Mint has been a lot better its past few. I think it's had 28 starts and never run a place. 26 starts for Duck Eggs. But from the draw, expect an improved effort. And Really Frank wasn't that far away in that same race, but do think William Tell wins. But just cut and paste what I said about 3 or 4 previous horses. The 8th, obviously got a few queries on the first starters. The trials have been haven't been that bad at the trials, either of them. New Cape has probably been the pick of them. Manu the Beast, super honest. His only drawback as a horse, he lacks a bit of high speed, but you can see him making his own luck in this, and definitely looks the one to beat. Crowded Cruise, you'd think it'd be leading despite drawing 7, but the 2,090 metre trips probably, like they met in the same race at Devonport last time. Crowded Cruise set leaders back and ran 4th, and just going to double check that they were both in the same race. No, they're not, sorry. Wrong, but Crowded Cruise set leaders back at Devonport and just boxed on fairly. Manu the Beast, I can see sitting outside. Striker Jim's another one, generally pretty consistent. So, first pick, Manu the Beast, he's going to make his own luck, sit outside Crowded Cruise. So, I'd go with the Beast. And the last is the lower points division of the C1s, and there's not too much figure form here. Fly Like a Hawk, its best form's generally in standing starts, but from this draw, it's been competitive against far better than this in stands, so should be competitive. Miss Ruthless, she boxed on pretty well last time. She did sit leaders back in a much stronger race and wasn't far away. So she probably deserves to be favourite. Good chance of finding the front as well, you'd imagine. Witchmaster going a lot better than the figure form suggests. Major Germain's first up for the new stable, and Regal Major had no luck at all last time, so could be a dramatic improvement. Also, Adataki didn't have any luck at all at its last start. Not type of race to get involved in because you're taking shorty sides horses without too much form, but probably if I had to pick one, I'd throw out Witchmaster just in a small bet. So as I mentioned, I can't see much value in the meeting at all, and I'm not a favourite punter, but if you just look at these horses like Carrera Stardust, God's Sake, Teresi, Roger Ramjet. Actually tipping a few Tide Retro horses here. I also tipped in Wheel in the first. So, William Tell, do think Manu the Beast sort of bit of got the queries over the first starters, just can't line them up. So, but those 5 there, I think they all look like winning. But you can see like where they've drawn, like you draw 9, 8, 9, and 8. And one thing I've always learned, if you take short odds from bad draws, it's a quick way to the poorhouse. So, we'll make best bet Teresi. I'm not one to make best bets at short odds, but I think if you get 180, it's not the worst price you're ever going to cop. Of the rest, I do think Ebony All Stars will run a mightily cheeky race. So we'll just make those the 2 on the card. So even if you just want to muck around and play those 5 that I picked up in if you chuck $10 in an all up, so they all start just $2, then it's worth $32. So chuck a tenner on that for 300 result. Yeah, if they all get the right run, they'll all win. So might be worth a small investment. So anyway, guys, we will leave it there. As I said, it's not exactly throwing out anything that's not blatantly obvious. So, but it's you can't invent value if it's not there. So we'll leave it there, and we'll be back with you with a recap of the meeting later tonight. But anyway, thanks again for your time.